to the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, the Jimmy V Classic presented by Siemens. 2 games tonight here in New York City for you tonight here on ESPN. Game 2 will be Arizona-Louisville. Game 1, Oklahoma State against Syracuse, which brings us to our Star Watch. And James Curry, the junior, he had a 35-point game last week. 59 points in his last 2 games. He is lighting it up. Demetrius Nichols did not shoot the ball well in the Oranges game over the weekend. Their loss to Wichita State. But other than that, he has been very good, and he is a deep threat for Jim Boeheim. Time now to take a look at tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Pizza Hut. And we begin with the Cowboys. And the big guys up front include Mario Bogan, a transfer from Florida, scoring at better than 20 points per game. We mentioned Curry. Byron Eaton, 0-0, 5'11", about 220 pounds. He'll get a lot of the ball handling responsibilities for Oklahoma State tonight. For Syracuse, a familiar group, including 3 seniors starting in the front court. Terrence Roberts, Darrell Watkins, and Demetrius Nichols. In the backcourt for the Orange, Eric Devendorf, along with Jerry McNamara's replacement, Josh Wright. Well, a new coach, a new head coach for Oklahoma State, with a man with a very familiar last name. For more on that, let's go to Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Hey, Dan. Tonight marks Sean Sutton's 500th game at Oklahoma State, either as a player or a coach. And the reality is this: not much has changed in his existence since he took over for his father with 10 games remaining in last season. This is a guy who has been responsible for much of the practice time preparation, game scouting, even the media obligations, including post-game press conferences and the coaches show back in Oklahoma State. He said, I am as prepared as a guy can be for this position. He said, the one thing I want to make sure happens over the next couple of years is we get back to the discipline that we've always been known for. We'll develop that story, Dan, as the night goes on. And Doris, Coach Sean Sutton, universally considered to be one of the rising young stars in the NCAA coaching fraternity. Oklahoma State is 9-0, wins over Auburn, Missouri State, but they have yet to face a team you would think that is as good as Syracuse. Sean Sutton taking over for Eddie Sutton. As Doris mentioned, he's had a lot of the responsibilities the last few years. It's his time right now. Well, you know, one of the great stories to be 9-0. I asked him during the week. I spoke to him on the phone. I said, how's it feel to be coach? He says, pretty good. We haven't lost yet. You really find out a lot about adversity. He told me this, that his dad comes to practice once in a while, and then once a week sits down with the coaches and gives them an evaluation. He really relies on a resource such as Eddie Sutton, which is certainly a great resource to have. And Eddie Sutton is here tonight watching his son and his old team here in the Garden. Duke Edsel, Roger Ayers, and Ray Natili ready to get us started. Syracuse in white, Oklahoma State in black, and we are underway in New York with the Orange getting the first possession of the game. Syracuse coming off that loss to Wichita State, played in spurts. They were very poor in the first half, came on strong in the second half, but didn't have enough. Devendorf left hand, no. Bogan rips down the rebound between a couple of Syracuse's big guys. Bogan played in the Garden a couple of years ago as a member of the Gators. Yep. He lost a lot of weight, though, Dan. And he's scoring at better than 20 points per game. This is his second year with Oklahoma State. Syracuse has been switching defenses a lot early in the season. Jim Boeheim, he'll use a lot of the 2-3, but Dick, at times also, Jim Boeheim's going to the man-to-man defense if they need it. He's trying to go multiple defenses, taking advantage of some of the quickness when Wright's on pressure in the basketball. He told me before the game, he said, see me in about a month or so, we're going to be a pretty good basketball team. Right now, we're searching. But he also told me in typical coach speak, he said, Oklahoma State, top 15 in America. I said, Jimmy, I wouldn't expect anything else from you. The Orange in the 2-3 right now. The biggest change for Syracuse, of course, Jerry McNamara is gone. The floater with 1 on the shot clock, no good for Eaton. It's offensively, really, with the Orange are searching for an identity because of the departure of McNamara. Eaton's got to do him scoring, get in that lane. Josh Wright, a key player. Yes. Can't turn the ball over. He's got to play under control. He'll make some spectacular plays, and then the next time down the floor, over-penetrate or turn it over. Missed jumper there from the wing, and back come the Cowboys. Nichols coming off that poor game, as you said earlier. He was 2 for 14. Yeah, he's too good a shooter. And missed a layup right at the end of the game that would have given him a 1-point lead. With about 20 seconds left in the game. He actually slipped. He was getting ready to dunk the basketball. An errant pass by Eaton. It looks like Eaton, E-A-T-O-N, but it's Byron Eaton, and
He is in the starting lineup. Marcus Dove out with an injury. He'll play off the bench tonight, and Eton's making his 3rd start in a row.
Dove is a terrific defensive player. Psychologically, I think a lot of teams are beaten by their 2-3 zone because they think so much about it. I think they make it tougher than what it really could be.
Terrence Roberts, and Bogan, I believe, is going to get called for the foul.
Roberts is a warrior. Seems like those guys have been around for I don't know how many years. When you think of Watkins and Roberts and Nichols.
And Roberts, all seniors. They all came the year after Syracuse won the national championship. But the class as a whole has been a bit of an enigma. They've done well, but maybe not quite as well as people expected of them. They're all solid players. And Jim Boeheim, what can you say about what he's accomplished now in his 31st season as the head coach at Syracuse? Roberts really struggles from the line, Dick. 45% on the season.
Well, it just went down a little bit more.
Yep.
I think you made a great point. They're solid players, but none of them really developed to become a special storm.
Bogan with the high arcing jumper.
He went to junior college for 1 year, then moved on to Oklahoma State. Really did a great job restructuring his body.
A very good outside shooter, and the coaching staff, he's got the green light from beyond the arc. He's not just an around the rim kind of guy. Roberts, he's a lefty, but he misses the layup, and the rebound brought down by David Mons.
Nice pass.
The Orange get beaten down the floor. That's one of the focal points for Oklahoma State, is to beat Syracuse down the floor and not let Syracuse beat them down the floor.
Well, not let Syracuse set up in that 2-3 zone. One of the keys and priorities in attacking the zone is to try to beat it before it sets up.
Roberts is fouled.
He's taking the ball strong to the basket. Yep. Roberts, you know, it blows my mind. You mentioned Jerry McNamara a little bit earlier. It's hard to believe that he couldn't make a team, number one, but number two, goes to Greece and doesn't get a chance to get on the floor.
Yep.
They don't play ahead of him out there.
Who?
Scooty Peck.
Oh, really?
Remember that name?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
McNamara played a total of 2 minutes in one game for the team in Greece, asked for his release, was granted his release. He's back stateside. Folks who may have seen the Wichita State game on Saturday would have seen him at the Carrier Dome, and McNamara is apparently on the verge of signing with an NBDL team, so he's going to try to keep his NBA hopes alive, or at least play professional basketball. And don't think he's here tonight, but I'm sure he's watching his old teammates wherever he is right now.
He got some cash for that 2 minutes he played.
Pretty productive couple of minutes.
Yeah, not bad. Almost in your class. As that 2-3 zone, try to get, as we always talk about, gaps and seams.
Oklahoma State has seen a little bit of zone this year, and they struggled against it for a while against Auburn. Foul from behind will go on Watkins. Auburn played some zone against them, and the Cowboys struggled down on the South Padre Island Invitational.
Well, a little familiar with the Syracuse zone. They've played them several times in the past few years. There's attacking the gap, little wraparound pass. Created a foul situation. In fact, they played him here in the Jimmy V back in 2004.
They beat him.
Yeah, beat him by 14. The free throw line was a disaster for Syracuse. There was 7 for 22 that night, and Oklahoma State was 19 for 30. So look at that staff. Jim Williams sitting to the right of Sean Sutton. I always expect to see Eddie Sutton sitting there. I always expect to see him sitting there.
I know.
You know, Sean and his brother Scott are one of 3 brother combinations coaching in America. John Thompson III, Ronnie Thompson, and you think also about Joe and James Jones in the Ivy League with Yale and Columbia.
Bogan 1 of 2. He's got all 3 points so far for the Cowboys. Watkins up strong. Darrell Watkins playing with a face mask on, suffered an injury to his nose a couple of weeks ago. It kept bleeding. They eventually had to perform a surgical procedure, so to keep it safe, he's got a mask on tonight.
He's right across the river here, right there in New Jersey. He's from out of Patterson, New Jersey.
Offensive rebound, Bogan, and he's got all 5 for the Cowboys.
Bogan and Curry can put a lot of points on a board as a combination.
Yeah, Bogan averaging over 20, and Curry comes into the game averaging 18. Oklahoma State is 9-0. Syracuse is 7-1. Nichols with a floater.
Finally gets one to fall for him. Probably was so frustrated after that loss to Wichita State at home. By the way, Syracuse does not leave the state of New York. Until early January. When they go to Marquette.
Yeah, they played 1 game at Canisius in Buffalo.
That's New York.
Game here, I know.
That's New York.
They're not alone. Louisville's doing it. Duke's doing it. A lot of the teams are doing it this year. Yeah, Connecticut's doing it. The follow is up and in. It is Bogan again. He's got all 7.
Well, one of the real dilemmas in a 2-3 zone is a lot of times you don't get blockouts, and you're able to get right in that gap, and that's what he did there.
One of the reasons why Syracuse, even though they've got an NBA-sized front line, they barely out-rebound their opposition.
They block shots, though.
Yes, they do.
Even though Connecticut will lead the nation again for the
Look at
6th
this
year in a
feed.
row. Got a great pass. Count the basket.
Eton to Bogan. Mario Bogan has all 9 points for Oklahoma State. The Cowboys up 3 early on Syracuse here in game 1 of the Jimmy V Classic from New. Back at the Garden here in New York. What a start for Mario Bogan, and Oklahoma State up 9-6. Bogan has all 9 points so far tonight for the Cowboys, Dick, and he has been a force around the rim against taller defenders.
Well, he's getting good inside position against the zone, and they're just standing stationary, and he's attacking the glass. Look at the people just standing there. He's much more aggressive. I wonder what Billy Donovan's saying. Wow, Mr. Bogan.
Mr. Bogan, more on him. Here's Ms. Burke.
Well, in fact, Dan, Sean Sutton told me earlier today at practice that 2 areas where he thought they could have success with Mario Bogan and some other guys. Number 1, offensive rebounding against Syracuse. The second is transition opportunities. Last 2 possessions, they've done both. Mike Hopkins said the reason they're switching out of that zone, they don't rebound great out of it, guys. So an early storyline.
Well, you know, Doris, you don't get blockout assignments with a zone. It's very difficult. Guys get a little bit lackadaisical. They get a little passive. They cover an area of the floor, and they just think they can relax. There's one of the bright young assistants in America. Mike Hopkins does an outstanding job.
Syracuse with another turnover. Oklahoma State back the other way with a 3-point lead. You can see the rebounding advantage they have held over the Orange in the early going. Each of these teams considers this game to be a real let's find out about ourselves kind of game. Eton, the charge, that's his 2nd foul, and Sean Sutton has to go to the bench. He's going to bring in an exciting young freshman named Obi Manello to take the place of Eton.
Well, this guy's an explosive offensive player, but there's the charge. Beats him to the spot, lowers the shoulder. You know, he also played in the NCAA tournament in a regional up in Albany. Oklahoma State and Syracuse, the year Syracuse and Carmelo and company won the national title.
Last year, Oklahoma State went just 17-16 and went to the NIT. The Orange won the Big East Championship, the tournament right here in this building, and that's basically why they got to the NCAA tournament. Roberts, good patience.
Really did. Great word right there, Dan. He demonstrated patience, waited till the defense went up in the air and got himself a deuce.
Now Paul Harris is in, one of the most highly touted freshmen in America, number 11 for Syracuse as the Cowboys turn it over. Dick will have more on him in a moment, but first a reminder that the Jimmy V Classic presented by Siemens continues tonight with our 2nd game at 9 Eastern tonight here from New York. Louisville taking on 15th ranked Arizona. Derek Harritor makes his Cardinal debut tonight. Chase Budinger, you gotta see him. One of the best freshmen in America, as is Paul Harris.
Yeah, he really is special. You talk about Budinger. I can't wait to see him in that 2nd game.
Boy, Roberts strong to the rim on a number of occasions already.
Yeah, he's really attacking the glass, and nobody's rotating over defensively.
Sean Sutton wants a timeout. He's not happy with the defense.
You know, the year Syracuse won that national title, 2003, they beat Oklahoma State. Now watch Roberts. There's that drive on that baseline. He gets inside, squares his body, and gets a deuce.
Back here in New York, 6 minutes into the game, and Syracuse leading Oklahoma State by 9. Well, Doris Burke will have a chance to visit with Eddie Sutton, the former head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboys, winner of almost 800 games, after the next timeout. 10-9, Syracuse leads. I know, Dick, one of your favorite parts in the early going of each college basketball season is a chance to see the great new freshmen, and Syracuse has one of them out of Niagara Falls, New York, number 11, Paul Harris.
He's a very rugged physical player and plays well on the defensive end. Rebounds exceptionally well, strong to the basket.
And he lost the handle on the way up. He had one of those in the 2nd half against Wichita State, right down the lane, and he went up from the foul line and jammed it home, and he was thinking to do the same thing here.
He's a real solid defensive player, very physical. There he's attacking, trying to one-hand jam. He's averaging 12 points a game, grabbing 8 rebounds a game, a leading defensive rebounder. He has to work on his perimeter shot. Yeah. He's got to really improve his technique and his shooting ability.
6'5", 220, unselfish, well-liked by his teammates. Very energetic and enthusiastic on the court.
Well, the coach loves him. Jimmy Boeheim told me before the game, he does everything a coach wants. He says once he really improves his shooting and gets a little bit more range. He made his first trifecta the other night. Mike Waters was telling me to find Ryder from up in Syracuse.
Misses the free throws, and the Orange have been awful from the line in the early going.
That's been one of the trademarks over the years with Syracuse basketball. Free throw line has been a disaster. They've gotten better at times.
Well, Paul Harris, just one of the exciting freshmen that we're going to see tonight. We mentioned when he came into the game, Obi Manello of Oklahoma State. He's been in double figures every game. Derek Character, a tremendous talent. He's lost 50 pounds to get into playing shape, they hope. And Chase Budinger may be the best of the bunch.
You know, I told Paul Harris before the game, I said, you know, you got Character lost 50 pounds. They played at the same prep school last year. He said, I'd like to see it. He said, I can't wait to see it.
Manello, a little bit long from the wing. The tap back out to Curry. And we're still waiting for a Cowboy not named Mario Bogan to score tonight. Right to Watkins.
Oh, W to W. Yes, sir. And when you do that well, it leads to another W. It's called the win, baby.
Home away from home for Syracuse here in the Garden. And all of a sudden, they have fallen into a comfort zone here.
There's a look at Josh Wright. He's had eye contact. He flips it up on top. There's the great angle. Look at the angle to the basket. Great eye contact. For you young kids out there, always keep your head up when you're putting the ball to the deck. Don't bury your head to the floor.
Josh Wright hardly played as a freshman, was the understudy to Jerry McNamara last year, but McNamara played a ton of minutes. Sometimes Wright would play alongside, but he's got the keys to the car this year. This is his team.
Playing behind McNamara, how would you like to play behind Derek Jeter in this city? You're not getting on the field, baby.
You moved to third base.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, the guy did that on an MMA run.
Marcus Dove into the game, number 5, a superior defender. He's missed the last couple of games with a knee injury. Floater by Curry drops in.
He was such a prolific scorer in high school. Originally committed to North Carolina, but had some problems in high school. Really has worked hard to make adjustments in his life.
Some off the court legal issues that he has worked through. Had an outstanding freshman season. Took a big step back as a sophomore. Much better so far this year. Let's go to Carl Ravitch in the studio for a Sports Center 30 and 30 update.
Hi, Dan. Thank you. Looked like J.D. Drew did make the right move, giving up 3 years and $34 million to stay in L.A. He agrees to a 5-year, $70 million deal with the Red Sox. So, in fact, he picks up 2 years and $37 million by making the move. And AP is reporting that Greg Maddux may also be leaving Los Angeles the same way Drew does, nearing agreement with the Padres on a 1-year, $10 million deal. SportsCenter follows the next game. ESPN News always on.
Hey, Carl, I wonder if you'd do that. Make $37 million on a change. I think I might be interested. $37 million.
Harris knocks him down.
Something tells me his agent was Scott Burrows.
I think you're right. Something tells me your grandson should play baseball when they're older. Put a bat and the ball in their hands. That's where the money is these days. Dove at 6'9", inside, outside guy. Nice feed off to Manello. Got a couple of Orange players in the air and lays it in.
They're all raving about him. They tell me that he's going to be a big-time scorer. Comes off the bench, gives him instant offense. Look at a head fake and gets inside position, uses his body.
Now, great play by Manello. Coach Sean Sutton loves it. Former coach Eddie Sutton loves it. We'll visit with Eddie Sutton when we come back to New York after this.
Okay.
Tell him.
Back here in New York, 14-13 Syracuse over Oklahoma State. Eddie Sutton no longer the head coach at OSU. People know about the issues last year. Back trouble, a lot of painkillers, a DUI in February. Stepped down, has since gone through alcohol rehab. Looks great. Enjoying semi-retirement right now. And he's sitting by with Doris Burke.
Oh, Dan, that's exactly what I told him. You look fantastic, Coach. How are you feeling?
I feel better than I felt in 3 years. You know, I had back surgery and I've completely recovered. It's a little strange adjusting, not being out there on the bench after 47 years. But, you know, the thing I miss most is the day-to-day association with your assistant coaches and your players and watching them develop as young men on and off the court. But I'm learning.
47 years, that gets in your blood, Coach. You've overachieved in marriage. You got your beautiful bride, Patsy, here. But, Coach, let's talk about the Addiction Recovery Center that you're working on back in Stillwater. This is different from a treatment center. Why is that important?
Well, it's so important. On every college campus today, there's addiction, not only in alcohol and drugs, but gambling. And if a young person goes to a treatment center and they come back and they're thrown in that situation on campus, if they don't have a support group, they're in trouble. And what this is if they go to a treatment center, they come back, the university will help them financially with their scholarship. Then they have a place to go where they can really have a support system. And anybody that has been addicted knows that's so important. And it's a place where they meet with their tutors. meet with their counselors, and have a recreation area there where all of them can get together. So this is badly needed on every campus, and my job now is to go out and raise enough money to make this happen.
Coach, terrific to see you. We miss you very much. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Dan.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. And Eddie's grandsons, Sean's sons, Spencer and Hunter, are here living the life. We're here at the Jimmy V Classic presented by Siemens. You see the phone number, the website to please call in or log on and donate some money to this worthy cause. That's why all the teams are here. You just saw Spencer, the younger son of Coach Sean Sutton. 38 years old, played a couple of years under Dad Eddie here at Oklahoma State, a couple of Sweet 16 trips.
Also played for him at Kentucky before transfer.
Matt Gorman is checked into the game now for Syracuse, a fifth-year senior and the last remaining link to the national championship team.
He's got long-range ability. He can make the three.
Dievendorf at the point right now. Wright is on the bench.
Dievendorf's a driver.
Gorman follows the Nichols miss. It's out of bounds to Oklahoma State.
It was great seeing Doris interview Eddie, and he does really look a lot better than he did look a year ago, and it's great to see that he's addressed his problem. And it's also nice to know that he's trying to reach out and help others. I think one of the major problems on collegiate campuses is alcohol. I don't think there's any doubt whatsoever that so many youngsters do not drink intelligently if they're of age. It's just unbelievable. Peer pressure just eats them up alive, and they destroy their lives, their family, and people they love, as well as themselves.
Kenny Cooper into the game now for Oklahoma State, a sophomore out of Monroe, Louisiana. This is James on Curry, lighting it up from outside.
He can put points on the board quickly. A prolific high school scorer, 59 in his last 2 games.
Without a turnover, I believe, too, in those last 2 games, and he's doing a lot of ball handling. 3 from the corner, not there for Harris. As you mentioned, that's a work in progress in his game. Curry pushing, Dub trying to finish, can't jam it home. Cooper with a jump hook. Boy, and Oklahoma State's doing a job on the glass right now.
They're very physical. Beat a good Missouri State team coached by Barry Hinson. Outstanding club out of the Missouri Valley. They had just beaten Wisconsin.
Dick, it's an 8-0 run right now.
There's the jam. Here comes Cooper with the little jump hook in the lane. Gets the bounce to go his way. James on. Says jumping James.
James on Curry has been on so far tonight. Let's get more with Doris.
Well, he's been on all season, Dan. Part of the rewards of working hard over the course of the summer. Spent his time in Houston with Tracy McGrady, and Tracy McGrady's trainer. 7 days a week, 3 to 4 hours a day, very rarely taking a day off. He said, I really lacked discipline and confidence last season. Tried hard to get that back, guys. 700 shots a day. It's muscle memory, Dick. You talk about that all the time. Good shooting form.
No question. I'll tell you one thing, Doris, playing with Tracy, I wonder if he got any shots. Tracy is an offensive machine.
Look at those numbers. Not just the scoring, but the assists as well for Curry, having to take on a variety of roles for this Cowboy team. He'll sit down, and Eton is back into the game, playing with a couple of fouls.
Just looking at them early in this game, Oklahoma State's going to be in that first division in the Big 12. I don't think there's any doubt.
Yeah,
they got some nice talent, balance inside, outside.
They were picked 3rd in the league, a league that has 6 new coaches out of the 12 teams. As Gorman hits the turnaround, Jay, to bring the Orange within 3.
Well, I know one thing. On December 16th, one team's going to get healthy. That's down at Kansas State when they got Mr. Walker in the lineup. What a Christmas present for the Hugs.
And we'll see another one of those teams pretty soon. We will see Texas taking on LSU on the weekend down in Houston. Cooper from the elbow. Well, we talked about all the new coaches in the Big 12. 6 out of 12 are new. And boy, right now, Mike Anderson's got it going on in Missouri, doesn't he? They are playing some terrific basketball.
9-0, and they've really played well. Beat Arkansas, beat him easily. Mike's got them adopted to his system, press, run. Kids seem to like it. I watched them on a tube a couple times.
Cooper with some good minutes here as he forces the turnover.
They're really running out of the turnover.
Offensive foul, Obi Manello. Second foul on the freshman.
When you mention the Big 12, you better think about Billy Gillespie and Texas A&M with Jones and A.C. Law. I think Gillespie is one of the real superstars on the horizon. He's done a phenomenal job at Texas A&M. He has a great ability of communicating with his people. Remember that name, Billy Gillespie. Well, he's going to be special.
February 3rd will be there. The Game Day Gang will be there. The Saturday Night Show will be there as they host Kansas.
I must take a charge.
Of all the guys who run into us, it's a 5'11", 220-pounder.
I almost took a charge. Here he comes.
I don't think you held your ground.
Oh, I was going to take a block.
No, you were giving ground. You were giving ground.
I wasn't going to square up and take no charge. Are you kidding me? I'm not taking no charge. I want to get back to beautiful Sarasota tonight.
Thumbs up from Johnny LaBombarda making its way into the replay there.
Well, let him go after another paisan instead of me.
This is Mike Jones, the other freshman, the guy not getting nearly the publicity that Paul Harris is, but he's got some talent as well. He was the player of the year in South Carolina last year. Gorman misses the jumper. Rebound comes to Jones, and he misses the follow, but they stay with it. I don't know if it'll be Nichols or Jones, and it'll go to one of those two as the Orange are back within a point.
I think Nichols is going to get the deuce.
Yeah,
I think Nichols is going to get the tip. But Jones is very active, has great scoring ability. They think once he gets minutes, he's been really shown a great deal in practice. I know Mike Hopkins is very, very high on his future.
And at 6'8", and a long 6'8", a long, lanky 6'8", they've got him up on the top of that zone, reminiscent even more so. Remember Queth Duaney, a terrific player for them, and all the havoc he used to wreak at the top of that zone.
I like those long guys with that length and quickness. Brandon Wright, we saw down at North Carolina.
Josh Wright with good hands forces the tie-up. The arrow will keep it at this end of the floor when we come back. 7:55 to go. Thumbs up here in the Garden. We're off to a good...
If there are any producers watching out there that want to have a hit series, ABC, CBS, NBC, ESPN,
B&B and Son.
These are the two guys. He does tricks. This
the whole
one dances. He works.
I have one trick,
without hair.
one great trick to make him disappear. Oh, I wish I could. Impossible.
That's why we're here, the Jimmy V Classic, to raise money for the V Foundation. He could make you look like a shy wallflower, couldn't he?
I tell you one thing. I thought Jimmy really could have been great on some sitcom. I thought he was Seinfeld before Seinfeld. I thought he was one of the funniest people I've ever been around. You know, I'll never forget one time he had Bill Cosby on the floor laughing hysterically. I mean, the funniest man in the world at the time. His show was #1, and there was Bill Cosby sitting on the floor as Jimmy had one-liner after one-liner.
Shot clock is down to 3. Dove will come out. Curry's come back in. A 1-point lead for Oklahoma State. They're unbeaten at 9-0. Syracuse is 7-1. Bogan from way out got rim, but Syracuse comes up with a rebound.
And one thing when you're in that 2-3 zone, you're in a perfect alignment to get in transition.
Nichols, a tough pull-up jumper. Wow.
That was a tough shot. He earned that. He said, I'd like to have that layup back against Wichita State. It was like about 18 seconds. He could have put him up by 1.
Wichita State in the first half of that game, Dick, had a 27-1 run. Got ahead of Syracuse by as many as 23. Syracuse's biggest problem this year has been double-digit deficits in the first half. They keep having to play catch-up, and they weren't able to do it against the Shockers, although they did tie them late and then wound up losing by 3.
Jimmy says they don't come out focused like they should. Can't turn it on and off when you want. Use the bounce pass. See, right there, you should have dropped the bounce pass. Drop it on a dime like Clark Kellogg says.
The lob, and it's over the head of Nichols. They connected once earlier. Wright did it with the Watkins, but not this time. 6 turnover committed by the Cuse.
Roberts comes out of that great high school program. St. Anthony's in New Jersey, Jersey City. Bob Hurley, who to me is a Hall of Famer for what he has done on a scholastic level.
It's been all zone so far for the Orange, even though, as we mentioned, they have been playing a lot more man-to-man so far this season.
Got to be a lot of patience out there in attacking that zone, but you don't want to just play on a perimeter. You don't want to go east-west. You want to go north-south.
Corner jumper, Bogan.
Is he a scorer? He's got a scorer's mentality. He and Curry going to put a lot of points on the board. Hey, Nebraska's had some big wins this year. Beat Creighton, but they lost to Rutgers. Big week for the Big East. DePaul beating Kansas.
That's right.
Notre Dame beating Maryland.
That's right.
Think about the week for the Big East.
And that Notre Dame game was down in Washington where they beat Maryland. Roberts fading away, doesn't get the bounce. Look at Eton getting up there with the big fellas.
Providence also. Timmy Welsh had some good wins over Boston College, George Washington.
Gorman comes up with a steal. Now 2-on-2. Wright with Jones. Wright splits the defense.
Did a super job. There's the speed and quickness they need out of Wright.
Curry trying to push it to the other end as we go back and forth here in the Garden in a good one.
Remember, we got 9 and zip. Oklahoma State hasn't lost. Nice fake.
Now Curry gets by his man, steps in and buries it. And James on Curry is feeling it early. He's got 7.
I think that combination of Curry and Bogan is going to be very special in the Big 12. They're going to light up that arena. Gallagher, have you ever been there?
I have. It's as good as it gets.
It's as good as it gets.
Yep.
There's no doubt.
Yep.
It's the West version of Cameron Indoor Stadium.
From the corner, a 3 for Josh Wright, as both offenses have really picked it up here in recent minutes. Yeah, if you're anywhere in the vicinity of Stillwater, which granted, you don't get there by accident, but if you can get to Stillwater, you got to go see a game. It is a terrific environment.
And you got to get down to Triangle. You got to get to the museum, down to Chapel Hill, and you certainly got to get, when you brought your friends, the Cameron Indoor Stadium, as special as it gets.
Play on, Harris, nice feed. Bogan now with 13.
Bogan has a way of slipping and getting open. He knows how to read the defense really well.
I'm feeling in our next game, maybe Dickie V's top 5 inside-outside combos, and that Curry and Bogan might be on that list.
They got a chance.
Nichols. And the rebound to Eton. Boy, he likes to rebound for a guy 5'11", but he's powerfully built, and he likes to get on the glass.
Nice little dish right there, too.
And
good
heading
fishing.
to the line will be David Mons.
Hey, Doris, what about Bogan and his scoring ability? You got to be impressed.
You really do, Dick. The one message that Sean Sutton has had for him, no possessions off. He threw him out of practice recently for not having an acceptable level of intensity. But I talked to him, you mentioned the body transformation for this young man. Remember, he spent his freshman year at Florida, was way overweight. He said, Coach Donovan told me, to compete at this level, you've got to change your body. Now, he ended up transferring out. During his time at Florida, he met a girl, actually had a daughter, Imani. He said, that was the moment. That triggered me. I knew I had to be responsible to somebody other than myself. I made the commitment. Good things have happened for him at Oklahoma State, guys.
Hey, Doris, they really, over the years, have taken young guys who maybe have had a little problem elsewhere or maybe didn't fit in like Curry. And right now, Bogan, his case was certainly different. It was a weight issue. But they've given him a second chance and have done a marvelous job with youngsters. Sometimes people make mistakes in life, and all they need is that opportunity.
They've been an extremely successful program. 8 consecutive trips to the NCAA tournament until last year when they went to the NIT. And now away from the ball, Duke Edsel has a call that is going against Syracuse. Jones is called for the foul. College basketball continues on ESPN2 tomorrow night. It's Holy Cross against Duke down in Cameron. The first game at 7 o'clock at 9 Eastern, an in-state rivalry. Memphis and Tennessee.
I'll tell you, Johnny Calipari's putting together another outstanding team, putting a lot of points on the board. And Duke, they're going to have a little tough time there. Holy Cross is a very formidable foe. And then they got a date with George Mason as well.
My bad, that last foul on Marcus Dove of Oklahoma State, his second. Paul Harris has returned to the game and out for Syracuse.
Trying to overload on that zone, on that baseline, line side.
Shot clock under 10 now as Oklahoma State continues to probe for an opening. Curry will launch.
Not a bad shot. Good ball reversal. He's just a scorer. He can score in many ways, not just a perimeter shot.
He and Bogan, Dick, have combined for 23 of the Cowboys' 29 points.
That's a pretty good combination. Not a bad tandem.
9-0 wound the South Padre Invitational with the wins over Auburn and Missouri State. Demetrius Nichols says, I got some range too.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's a very streaky shooter. Outstanding shooting ability, but he can be streaky. He can get on fire.
9 for Nichols, who's 45% from beyond the arc. Look at that feed from Harris inside, and the finish for Dove.
There's Dove, a defensive guy, but it was the diagonal pass. I mean, we're seeing some outstanding basketball. I mean, really some outstanding basketball.
Dove from Terrell Harris to make it a 3-point game. It is heating up here in the Garden. This is the Jimmy V Classic from New York City. Oklahoma State up 3. Welcome back to Madison Square Garden, where Oklahoma State very crisp offensively, especially their 2 leading scorers on the season and tonight. Bogan and Curry with 23 of their 31. And last time down the floor, Dick, not Bogan or Curry, but the Cowboys really picked apart the zone.
Well, recognizing the gap is so important. You got to find the seam. Well, right here, we're going to see them freeze it. See, right here's a big gap, right in this area here. And he's going to recognize it and get the ball right through there for a layup. There it is. He recognizes the gap, the seam, great vision, and a diagonal pass.
Marcus Dove with the bucket. And the foul went on Roberts of Syracuse, or Watkins, I believe, of Syracuse, his second. And there again, what Bogan and Curry have combined for. On the season, they are scoring a total of 38 points per game between the two of them as Dove steps to the line.
Well, you know, some of the stats early you can throw away. But when you have impressive games against the likes of Missouri State, and for you people out there saying Missouri State, hey, let me tell you something. That Missouri Valley Conference, Wichita State beats LSU at LSU, beats Syracuse at Syracuse. Missouri State beats Wisconsin. That league they can flat out play.
As good as the league was last year, maybe even a little bit better so far this year.
Those stats count in games like that.
Yep.
Doesn't count when you have Blowout City and you beat Cupcake U by about 50.
Roberts, he's been looking for his offense tonight. 10-footer goes down.
Why not? He's been aggressive offensively.
Roberts now with 8. He comes into the game averaging 8.6.
It's going to be interesting to see where they fall when you look at the Big East this year.
Yep.
I mean, I think right now you look at the Big East, we really don't know about Louisville. We're going to find a lot about them tonight. They're like a mystery team. They've only played 3 games.
Second call. Yeah, Louisville's only played 3 games because of a lack of availability at Freedom Hall. They're going to play 12. They've already played one of those 12 in December. But they're a team that's not yet whole. They've got a couple of players coming back from injuries. And we're going to see Character tonight for the first time. Derek Character. Harris, no. A relatively quiet first half for the freshman. They've got another guy Syracuse has signed for next year named Johnny Flynn, who was a high school teammate of Harris's, and Harris says he's terrific.
Oh, they got a class coming in that's rated top 5 in America.
Bogan putting the ball on the floor and elevating for the jumper as he is fouled by Harris and will go to the line.
I will never forget when Carmelo Anthony made his debut right here at the Garden. We did the game.
Coming up on the UPS halftime report with John Saunders, Jay Billis, and Digger Phelps, who are here on site at the Garden. They'll analyze the first half. Also, they'll talk to the 2 coaches from Game 2 tonight. Hall of Famer Lute Olson and Rick Pitino, but also Jimmy V's words will be remembered. You won't want to miss that.
Hey, can I go up there and get their autographs?
Sure.
You mean they're in the building? Oh, they're in the building? Oh, talking to Lute Olson. Lute's got a book out. Look at the concentration right now. Focus. I give Jay an A for being focused here. I don't know about Digger. I don't see him too focused there. Lute Olson, unbelievable. Read his book called Lute. Because in that book, you talk about cancer, he lost his wife, Bobby, and he has some very intimate stories in the book.
Hey, some good news today, and then Carl Ravitch, I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit later on. John Lester, a pitcher with the Boston Red Sox, diagnosed with lymphoma during the season. Read today on ESPN.com that he currently is in remission, and all systems are go for him to make a return next year. Great news, but we're raising a lot of money here for the V Foundation for Cancer Research. You see the number on the website on your screen.
Also, Jimmy's daughter, Jamie, talked about her last year, so we watched the 3 from up on top go down. She's cancer-free now after having a double mastectomy.
That's Manello, the freshman, with the 3. You got to like his confidence. He said preseason, I want to be the freshman of the year. And somebody said Big 12, and he said no, the whole country.
Well, do me a
he's
favor.
averaging better than 12 a game.
Well, do me a favor. I know he's a good player. Go introduce him to Greg Oden. Introduce him to Mr. Durant in Texas, to Brandon Wright. I mean, sometimes you got to be a little realistic. That would be like me saying, Dan, I'm in some flicks in the cameo, but if I went to bed and I woke up and I said, you know what? I'm going to be the new lover in Hollywood and get all the scenes as a guy that's a leading man. I think it's unrealistic. I look in the mirror and I see that ugly face. No shot.
You're no Lute Olson is what you say.
I got no shot. No, I'm no George Clooney.
Here comes Harris again. Harris didn't score in the first half against Wichita State on the weekend, then scored 14 in the second half, although Syracuse lost by 3.
He can score in a variety of ways.
Cooper, the big fella, brings down the pass, hits Manello on the run, and a block for Roberts.
Manello just has that unbelievable nose to score.
Boy, Josh Wright has it blocked to the other end by James on Curry, and all of a sudden we got a track meet here at the Garden. Quick shot by Curry. The Cowboys were on the glass, but Cooper fumbled it out of bounds.
I tell you, they can get up and down the floor. Very athletic. James on Curry. We're going to watch right here. Taking it up.
The block by Roberts, and then Curry had one to the other end. Devendorf with a pull-up three. Did not have a good game. Was under the weather against Wichita State on Saturday. Only played 18 minutes. He's become, and in the absence of McNamara, will continue to become a key offensive player for them. He's scoring almost 14 points per game.
Well, he's a strong driver to the basket. Shot blocking is going to be a key. You saw the block shot by Roberts. That's one of the real strengths of the Syracuse team with Watkins and Roberts and Nichols. Going to take it down for the last shot.
4-second difference. Curry, the kick to Manello.
He's not bashful. Good offensive rebound.
By Harris. They have dominated on the offensive glass.
Great offensive rebound. They are really hurting Syracuse with those gaps and those seams. Doris has got the coach at halftime. I mean, he's going to be happy with that offensive rebound, Dan Schulman.
Cowboys sky high going to the break after that dunk by Harris. Jameson Curry and Demetrius Nichols, our star watch, both in double figures. As we go to the break, look at that, followed by Terrell Harris. Let's go to Doris, standing by with Coach Sean Sutton.
Sean, obviously a good offensive half, but Demetrius Nichols and Terrence Roberts doing their damage. How do you do a better job?
Well, we've had a hard time with Roberts. He's really established great low post position. We've given him too many easy touches inside. Then Nichols, he's an explosive offensive player. We did a good job on it the first 12 minutes and then lost him late in the half, and he's a shot maker. So we've got to do a better job against those two guys second half.
Thanks, Sean. Dan.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. Coach Sean Sutton and the Cowboys up 5 on the orange in a game 1 of the Jimmy V Classic presented by Siemens here from New York City. Coming up on the UPS halftime report, John Saunders, Jay Billis, Digger Phelps will visit with Lute Olson, the Hall of Fame head coach of the Arizona Wildcats. They're flying here at the Garden. The Cowboys lead by 5. Second half now in this game. Devendorf is going to start on the bench and Harris is going to start on the court. So Jim Boeheim making a change. Good shooting by both teams. The rebounding edge was very important for Oklahoma State. Let's find out a little bit about some second half adjustments as we bring in Doris Burke.
Well, those rebounds were the first topic of conversation. Dan clearly want to do a better job on the glass, particularly doing a better job checking out on the defensive glass. 6 offensive rebounds for the Oklahoma State team, and defensively not getting the ball, or excuse me, offensively they want to establish their offense by working it inside first, Dick, not necessarily for shots but to relieve some of that Oklahoma State pressure.
Josh Wright at the point, quarterbacking the orange offense, goes right to the rim and it'll go in. Watkins had his hand up there, but I think it'll be Wright's basket.
You know, dribble penetration, you got to stop the little guy. You can't allow him to make that turn and get to the rack.
He's got a burst of speed, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does, but defensively you got to beat him. You got to have your feet, play off him, let him make the perimeter shot.
Yeah. So again, Harris in for Devendorf to start the second half for the orange.
Harris is a finisher. I think he's the kind of guy that's going to get a lot of minutes when the game's on the line.
Harris with a beautiful feed inside to Bogan. Harris was the guy who made a couple of terrific passes toward the end of the first half.
You know, Harris got great vision, but let's give credit to Bogan the way he reads the defense. As soon as he sees penetration, he has a way of sliding to the opening.
This Oklahoma State team may be a little bit under the radar right now, but they're good, and they are 9-0. Turnaround jumper for Watkins gives him 6, and the orange back within 3.
They're not under the radar. According to Jim Boeheim before the game, he was singing their praises. Trying to demonstrate that patience against the zone. Trying to find that opening, nice opening right up on top. What they're trying to do is to slide into the 3-second area at the foul line area. Look at the point guard. See him beat him to the basket? He beats him right to the lane. You can't allow him to make that turn. And now we look at the penetration here by Harris and a dump down. But it's all about Bogan reading the defense. You got to read and you got to adjust. Do you read and adjust?
I read and adjust.
You do?
I read. I have to adjust to you. and let me tell you, that is not the easiest job in America.
All my buddies today at the Broken Egg are so upset that you haven't been here in 2 weeks.
A kickball against Syracuse. That'll reset the shot clock to 15. It's now down to 7. Now it's down to 3. Curry with a great pump fake, and he buries a long 2.
That was a terrific way of getting free. Using the ball, using the pump fake. That allowed him to get that one step, put the ball to the floor. He can put the ball to the deck and get open for his jump shot.
He and Bogan have now combined for 29. Oklahoma State again up by 5. Watkins, the dump down through the hands of Roberts.
Up in the air. Watch the pump fake now right here for you young kids. See that? The little pump fake freezes the defensive player and gives him space. It creates space. And then Curry loved it.
Got the freshman in the air.
He said you left something on the floor. You left something on the floor. I'll let you say what you left on the floor.
A little lingerie.
Oh,
off the fingertips of Oklahoma State out of bounds. That's what our friend Mr. Raftery would say if he was doing this kind of a game.
He would say that?
He would say that.
Wow, he would say that? A LaSalle graduate? Fine Catholic institution?
Josh Wright using the screen. Little long on the three. Bodies on the deck. Numbers for Oklahoma State.
They'll take their chance with Wright shooting the three.
Eaton left hand. No. Watkins the rebound. Roberts.
Hello. 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 Just like he did at St. Anthony's. The miracle of St. Anthony's. I've said it once, said it twice. Read that book. Outstanding work.
Roberts now with 10. The Orange back within 3. Mons way long from the corner. Now Harris, he loves to push. The kick to Nichols.
He can shoot it. Little run. Here comes the Cuse. Jimmy Boeheim's happy.
A deep 2, and they're back within 1.
Boeheim was in a backcourt years and years ago at the Cuse. Played with Mr. Bing.
Bogan, second time tonight he's drilled a baseline jumper. He's got 19.
They're going to love him at Gallagher-Iba. Oh, is he going to be a fan favorite? How about a screen?
How about Bogan, Dick? As Wright gets inside, Bogan is shooting 63%, and it's not all layups and dunks as we've seen tonight.
It's a real good pace. I like the tempo.
Eaton. Harris wide open for 3.
Got to make those open shots. Hey, this tempo and pace a little bit like North Carolina, Ohio State.
A little bit.
Oh,
not quite. Not quite.
Well, I said a little bit.
What a night for Mario Bogan.
Syracuse has 4 guys score here in the second half. 4 different players. Look at Bogan and those numbers. He said, I learned that all down here in Gator country. Hey, what about a salute to Leonard Hamilton?
Yes,
Out
big
for
win.
So underrated, terrific player. Made every big play when Florida made the run at him.
28 for Thornton. Watkins looking for his offense more tonight than he normally does.
Nice drive by Watkins. I'm going to tell you that loss. I watched some of that game. There's no way early right now Joe Noah is in a run for National Player of the Year. He's got to wake up big time. There's a lot of other guys having a better year.
Sean Sutton takes a timeout. Oklahoma State by 1. We're here for the Jimmy V to raise money for the V Foundation. New York City, Madison Square Garden, game 1 of 2 tonight for the Jimmy V Classic. Oklahoma State up 1 on Syracuse. The man to my right, a member of the board of directors of the V Foundation. Tell us about some of the great people who don't get a lot of publicity and what they're doing to raise money for this foundation.
Oh, you talk about all the people on the board of directors. Start with Bob Lloyd. I mean, you talk about defining a friend. He does a phenomenal job as the head of the board of directors. Nick Valvano and his people, Joyce Aschenbrenner, John Leschny, they all work so diligently. And then the high-profile people, Mike Krzyzewski, and certainly John Saunders, and all the corporate people. Our own George Bodenheimer.
That's right.
He has really allowed ESPN to become such a vital part of helping the V Foundation.
Manelo's jumper rattles in. It's 8. Tell us quickly about what's going on in Sarasota in May.
Well, we're going to have a big day on May 18th down to Ritz-Carlton. We're going to honor, yes sir, Dick Vitale's gala. We're going to honor Mike Krzyzewski for all he has done for the V Foundation. $1,000 a ticket.
Curry, Harris in amongst the trees, and a turnover. 2-on-1. Right.
Give it up. Give it up. Perfect. Give it up. Transition. Run, baby, run. It says Oklahoma State thinks they can beat us in transition. We can get up and down.
Going to be a little bit of a different dimension for Syracuse this year when Wright puts the pedal to the metal like that.
Well, when they get out in transition.
Yep.
And I want to again say thank you to Mike Krzyzewski for allowing us to honor him on May 18th. We're going to sell 400 tickets at $1,000 a ticket. Anybody wants one, call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V.
Harris the miss.
And we will sell out quickly.
Out of bounds to Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State up 1 on Syracuse here at the Garden.
Well, run, baby, run. Syracuse and Oklahoma State. Fast tempo game. Look at the vision right there. There's the lob, the jam, up and away. Here we go. The elevator, the Skywalker.
the Garden, the Jimmy V Classic. Oklahoma State up 1 on Syracuse.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. They got to find a way to attack that Syracuse zone. Let's go to the maestro, lady. Let's go to Doris Burke with an analytical way of getting into the gaps and seams.
Thank you, Dick. Well, they worked very hard yesterday and this morning shoot-around at dumping the ball into the paint area, Dick. And look at all the white jerseys collapse around those shooters. And then the kick. It softens the perimeter defense. Easy, wide-open jump shot. Can they do it any better than that, Dick Vitale?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Hey, Doris, I'd love to get that open wing jump shot and play against that zone. I mean, I would take Jimmy Boeheim's zone apart on that wing. I know one thing. My University of Detroit team, I would have put John Long on one wing, Terry Duran on the other wing, and Mr. Boeheim would have lost all his hair. I mean, we would have torn that zone to pieces.
Hey, this man didn't win 733 games by accident.
He only won 704 more than me.
He's a Hall of Famer. We'll see another Hall of Famer in Game 2 tonight here on ESPN. Lute Olson of Arizona as they take on the Louisville Cardinals. And one day Rick Pitino might wind up in the Hall of Fame as well.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Trap on Bogan. This is the Syracuse defense at its best. It'll stay with the Cowboys, 14 to shoot.
Well, they like to trap in the corner. They like trapping right here. Freeze it. See, there it is. They like to trap right there in that corner. They love that. You get the ball there, you're lost.
And Dick Bogan came out of that trap limping and grimacing just a little bit. Now they leave him open. Manello. What a great offensive rebound and tap by Dove. Cooper has it swatted away. Watkins with a block, but again the story, Oklahoma State on the glass, but now no look.
Oh, bad play there. They had no choice, up in the air.
And Roberts yelling at the three teammates who stayed back, assuming they would make a layup. Out of control, but no look passes the last 2 times down the floor.
Out of control, man. You can do that on a playground, but you're not doing that in organized hoops. Really sloppy, out of control.
A missed opportunity for each team.
You got to make the most out of each possession because this game is going to go right to the wire.
Harris, they'll play off him a little bit. They're going to make him shoot the ball.
They're saying shoot it, Paul. We're going to allow you to shoot it. And that's why he's going to get to the gym and shoot one jumper after another. Work with Bernie Fine, with Mike Hopkins.
Right. Good hands there by the Cowboys. They've got it again.
He's got a trailer.
Manello.
Doesn't need the trailer. Doesn't need the trailer. Manelo's got a nose to score, man. He is physical. He is tough.
From Edmond, Oklahoma, the only scholarship player on the team from the state of Oklahoma.
He just has to learn and understand what a good shot is, but that comes with experience.
Harris might have gotten away with a walk, but then he turned it over anyways. A block by Nichols. Boy, the Orange can swat him.
They're going to block shots. They are going to block a lot of shots. I mean, that Syracuse-Connecticut game should be interesting in terms of that.
Those two teams as good as there is in the country. Connecticut has led the country, I think, each of the last 5 years.
They're going to lead at 6. Take it to the bank. Tabit had 10 the other night block shots.
That's right.
The 7'3" freshman just learning how to play. Marcus Johnson very active on their baseline.
We'll see them in the first game day game, the first Saturday night in January against LSU.
I spoke to John Brady today down in Baton Rouge. They play Texas A&M tonight. We have them Sunday against Texas.
What nice basketball. Beautiful inbounds pass to Bogan. The feed to Curry for the open jumper.
Inside, outside. Doris talked about how they're going to go to the interior, bring it back to the perimeter.
Largest lead of the game. 6-point Cowboy lead as we go to Carl Ravitch in the studio for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update.
Hi, Dan. Baseball news leaving Los Angeles. Ned Colletti's going to have some work to do. Greg Maddux heads to San Diego, agreeing to a 1-year, $10 million deal. There's a player option for next year. It starts at $6 million and could escalate to 10 based on innings pitched. And J.D. Drew, long coveted by the Red Sox, signs a 5-year, $70 million deal. And it was appropriate to report John Lester, the pitcher for the Red Sox, you mentioned, cancer-free right now. He plans on being there for spring training, Dan, as he battles lymphoma and is now cancer-free.
Terrific news, Carl, and very relevant considering why we are here tonight. Oklahoma State trying to beat Syracuse in this event, Dick, for the second time in 3 years.
Well, they did a great job with inside-outside action in that possession. Beat them 2 years ago. Syracuse beat them in a big tournament matchup up in Albany before they made that run to go on and win the national title. Carmelo Anthony and company, the diaper dandy, who, by the way, donated $3 million to the university for their new practice facility.
Terrific gesture by Anthony. Boy, good hands again by the Cowboys. Manello, and Cooper has it blocked by Roberts.
I think Cooper was shocked the ball came over because Manello normally shoots the ball.
Well, the story's been Syracuse turnovers, Oklahoma State run-outs, Syracuse blocks, and then a lot of times the Cowboys getting on the offensive glass for another look.
And the story's been Bogan on the inside, Curry on the perimeter.
They've combined for 34.
That 1-2 punch has been lethal.
Dove has it knocked away. Good hands by Wright. Josh Wright playing with a lot of confidence.
Devendorf must be under the weather.
Yeah.
He must be under the weather. They said he wasn't feeling good in the last game physically.
Only played 18 minutes. He was at the hospital for a while the day of the Wichita State game with a viral problem, and he has not played at all here in the second half. The Cowboys up 6 on the Orange. Oklahoma State enjoying its largest lead of the game, up 52-46 on Syracuse, as we bring you tonight's game track, brought to you by PlayStation 2. Mario Bogan, a huge game inside and outside. The seniors are getting it done offensively for the Orange, and it has been close throughout with a dozen lead changes. We haven't seen Eric Devendorf in the second half. Let's see if Doris Burke knows why.
Well, that stomach virus that you guys alluded to earlier is still plaguing him. Syracuse SID Pete Moore said it is likely that we will not see him for the remainder of the evening, though not certain, guys. We'll see as it plays out.
Hey, Doris, it's really going to be tough for them to win without that scorer. He provides that toughness. And I think the one element you have to have against Oklahoma State, Dan, is toughness, because they're physically very tough and aggressive.
Devendorf, a member of the Big East All-Rookie team a year ago. Maybe because of his absence, we now get our first look of the night at Andy Routen's number 1.
He can shoot it. Remember the dad, Leo?
Yeah, Leo was an All-American at Syracuse, and Andy spent the summer playing for his dad on Canada's national senior team. Leo's the coach of that team, and Andy has real range, although he just threw that pass off the back of Watkins.
Yeah, but Watkins got to see the ball. Yeah. You got to be on the floor. He was anticipating Watkins looking for the ball.
7th turnover committed this half by Syracuse.
Louisville and Arizona. Hey, people, if you want to see an offensive machine, where do you see Arizona's front court with Denovich, Williams, and Buttinger, who could be as good as any diaper dandy in America?
Manello with the diagonal pass picked off by Watkins, and now Manello reaches in and commits the foul. As you mentioned, Arizona, Louisville, and we'll see a Wildcat team where all 5 starters are in double figures, and there's Chase Buttinger, not only a pretty good basketball player,
volleyball.
Yeah, the National High School Volleyball Player of the Year last year.
They wrote a great story on him today in USA Today, a story about his volleyball ability. In fact, they say he's a potential candidate for the Olympic team in volleyball. And in basketball, I can tell you right now, people love him.
We'll also see the debut of Derek Character for Louisville, a player that Rick Pitino says has a chance to be as good and has as much talent as anybody he has ever coached.
He has to just be dedicated to his pursuit of excellence. As you watch right here, went to the deck hard. Character lost over 55 pounds to get in shape to play for Rick Pitino. Makes his debut. It's so ironic. His fame started as a 9th grader at St. Patrick's in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And here it is, his first game playing on a collegiate level against a front court like Arizona at the Mecca, Madison Square Garden.
Out of bounds. It'll stay at this end of the floor as Harris is going to check back in for the Orange, and Routens will sit down.
I like that Howie Schwab nodded his head when I said that. Stop the Schwab.
Does that mean you stopped the Schwab?
He nodded his head when I talked about that. You didn't nod your head. You didn't nod your head. I mean, come on now. You didn't nod your head.
All right.
I mean, unbelievable. Give me some affirmation.
All right.
Is that such a word?
That is. You still need that at this point in your career? You still need that?
I need all the help I can get.
Baseline Harris into heavy traffic, into trouble. Held ball. It'll stay at this end of the floor. The shot clock was just about to expire. College basketball on ESPN2 tomorrow night. Game 1 from Durham, Duke, and Holy Cross. And then at 9 Eastern, it'll be number 17 Memphis taking on Tennessee. There is 1 second on the shot clock. Oklahoma State ball.
Tell you mentioned that game with Duke. We saw Greg Paulus emerge in that second half, and that's certainly good news for Duke.
Yep.
They need him badly to be a legitimate top 10 basketball team.
Bogan Good if it goes. Got the rim out of bounds to the orange. Bogan is a guy in practice, Sean Sutton says, shoots the three as well as anybody on the team. And even though it's not reflected in his numbers in-game, he's got, I know the shot clock was running down, but he's got the green light to shoot anywhere, anytime.
You know, they signed Gerald Green. He decided to go to the NBA, and now with the Celtics. They've had some good signings in their classes.
Good tough man-to-man here. Offensive foul. Paul Harris.
Out of control. He has to learn to control his physical ability, work a little bit more on the offensive side. He's going to be a quality player at Syracuse. He was like a running back right here. I mean, he's just like a running back. He runs right over him.
Terrell Harris, no relation, taking the charge. Paul Harris, averaging 12.5 points per game, has only 2 here tonight.
They have to have somebody pick up the score with Devendorf out here for the second half.
Yeah, Roberts is on the bench right now as well. Eton kept that foot down, tried to thread the needle inside, and a foul will be called on Terrell Harris. He just tried to wrap up Darrell Watkins.
You can see that they've done a great job with their film work and evaluation. They're trying to get penetration in that 3-second area and find one of the guys on that baseline. See, there it is. Dump it to the baseline. It was deflected. And there's that stupid rule. Okay, they forced the jump ball, but possession goes to them. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Watkins will come out. Roberts is back in.
Watkins has that mask. Shot blocker deluxe. He's got to be a little more assertive offensively.
Gorman working hard for position in the paint. Roberts handling more than he should. It's a 4-on-1.
Find the trailer. Great break, great communication, excellent transition. Run, baby, run. Beat the zone before it sets up. Force the turnover, get the layup. Force the turnover, get the layup.
David Mons from Terrell Harris, a 7-0 run for the Cowboys, Dick.
Do you know that in teaching, when I taught the 6th grade, they said repetition helps. There it is, run, baby, run, get the layup. Look for the open man. Stay wider than the lane. Do you get it, Mr. Schumann?
I get
Stay
it.
wider than the lane.
It.
I don't know if you get that.
I get it. I got it. I'm giving you affirmation. I'm nodding.
You're still in that baseball mode. Manny Ramirez, where's he going? Where's Carl Ravitch telling me Ramirez is going?
Maybe the Dodgers. Maybe they're working hard for him right now. We're here tonight for the Jimmy V Classic. 2 great games. This one and then Arizona-Louisville still to come. The V Foundation, which is a terrific charity and is one where now they have raised so much money, it is endowed to the point where the investment income is covering all of the overhead. So every single penny that you donate goes right to cancer research.
Yeah, that's just amazing. The great job that Bob Lloyd and people have done, Nick Valvano, that every dollar that you people donate, every cash dollar will go for research and battling cancer.
A steal by Harris. He's done all the little things tonight. Bogan misses the 3. Offensive rebound, Mons.
2 factors why they're leading. 2 factors. Offensive rebounding, and number 2, transition.
Yep.
2 ways to beat the zone. But you better have the athletes that can get up on the glass.
Look at the rebounding advantage. They're up 12 on the orange. Syracuse, a big team, but again, in part, because they play a zone, they do not do a good job rebounding the ball.
We're looking at the club 9 and zip. They're showing me wider 9 and zip. You can tell me all you want about their cupcakes. I'll tell you this right now, Dan, this club is legitimate. They are really working on the glass. There's the offensive rebound and the conversion.
Their biggest wins would be over an improved Auburn team and over a very good Missouri State team in overtime to win the South Padre Island Invitational. There's a foul against Oklahoma State.
And to put that in perspective, Missouri State had just beaten Wisconsin in that tournament, who had been undefeated. Bo Ryan's club. Can't wait to see them when they hook up with the Buckeyes down there, I guess, the first week of January.
That's right. We'll be there on the 9th. Sean Sutton's team is going to play Tennessee in Nashville. Then they're going to play Pittsburgh in Oklahoma City before the end of the month. So they got a couple of tough challenges coming.
I think you and I are going to see Wisconsin and Pittsburgh against each other.
Yeah, middle of December.
That'll be a nice matchup. Everybody's raving about Pittsburgh. Can't wait to see Jamie Dixon's club. Rick Pitino was certainly singing their praises.
7-footer Aaron Gray, one of the elite big men. Dangerous pass against the zone. Nichols has done that a few times in his career. And count it!
Excellent play right there. Stepped in a passing lane, anticipated well, and then converted.
First points for the Cuse in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Foul will go on Curry. Nichols to the line. Part of this senior class, Demetrius Nichols, Terrence Roberts, Darrell Watkins being asked to lead after playing a year behind and at times in the shadow of Jerry McNamara in recent years.
Everybody played in Jerry's shadow when he took over for Syracuse. You talk about a gamer. You talk about somebody that played with such heart.
The Orange fans making some noise as the lead's been cut to 7, and now the pressure.
Full court trap. I thought he walked, but they had a foul before.
They had a foul.
They had a foul before.
Yeah. Nichols is first. Jim Boeheim didn't like it. This pressure tactic, Syracuse doesn't use it all that often, but it has been very effective for them in recent years. They were down time and time again in the second half of games last year and used the full court pressure to get back in the game.
Well, they got kind of athletes, and then they got a shot blocker on the backside. There's a timeout. I mentioned McNamara. He scored 2,099 points in his career. In fact, the leading scorer, Lawrence Moten, with 2,334. I talked to him at halftime. Son Lawrence.
I got something for you right now. 23 years ago, the national championship game, 1983, when NC State Jimmy V won it all.
5 seconds left to Wittenberg. Wittenberg tries about a 30-footer. Lorenzo Charles slams it in. The Wolfpack has won the national championship.
I mean, that's a play. I told you, that's part of my emergency scoring series. I can't believe you didn't know that, right? That was the triple cadenza play we run.
I sat next to his father, Rocco, at the press conference, and his father turned to me and he said, "That's my boy, Jimmy." How proud he was that night. Jimmy looking for someone to love, running around the court. How magical, how life takes such funny bounces. I mean, his career was exploding, did a brilliant job in the world of television. He entered with us for only a couple of years, and then all of a sudden, that's what that disease does to you. I'm going to talk about a little young lady by the name of Peyton Wright and her battle with cancer. And we must eliminate it so that the Peyton Wrights of this world don't have to go to chemotherapy. And
Marcus Dove going up strong. Watkins with the foul, denying the jam. Number 4 on Watkins, but that was a big-time attempt at a jam by Dove.
They really have a big-time athletic club. As you look at Dove, I'll tell you a Dove that used to play here by the name of Sonny Dove in St. John's years ago. He was special. This Dove, a defensive player. The follow-up, Peyton, as you know, is a young girl, 4 years of age. Was as healthy as can be, running around in May. There she was, having a ball at SeaWorld, and all of a sudden gets pain in her knee. Family finds out that she goes for a checkup. They find out later she has a tumor in her spine. It metastasizes and goes to her brain. And now she has a very rare form of brain cancer. I know her dad's listening tonight, Patrick and Holly. Love you guys dearly, and I know how courageous you are. And I want you to know we're going to raise enough money that someday girls like your little girl are not going to have to go for chemotherapy and be in a hospital, that they're going to get the opportunity to play and do what little kids should do. Call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V to help the Peytons of this world. I beg you, I plead with you.
$60 million's been raised over the 12 years since the V Foundation was created. Nichols responds with a 3.
Good defensive play.
Yeah, and a foul against Curry. This pressure's helping out the Orange.
Yeah, it's creating a little momentum. It's giving them a little energy, Dan.
Yep.
It's giving them that energy.
Giving their fans some energy here at the Garden in New York City as well. Syracuse back within 6. Plenty of time to go. Back here in New York, the Jimmy V Classic, a 6-point lead for Oklahoma State over Syracuse. Doris Burke was in and around the Oklahoma State huddle. Let's find out what was going on. Doris?
Yeah, Sean Sutton told his guys, listen, let's play with poise and confidence. Be together. You've faced pressure before. You've been in big games. Let's relax. He said defense and rebounding and toughness will win this game, guys.
I think the key word is toughness. You have to have a certain mentality and a certain toughness when you play at this level.
Well, they've had that in recent years. They're a program that's been known for their toughness in recent years. Here's the freshman Obi Manello out of Edmond, Oklahoma. He's acquitted himself very well here tonight. Good shooting by both teams all night long. A big rebounding advantage for the Cowboys that may be the single biggest difference in this game.
Well, Sean Sutton took over on July 1st, 2006, officially as the head coach. 9 and zip, hasn't lost.
Good rebound by Roberts. Right back up. The Orange within 4.
Roberts, Nichols, and Watkins certainly have been productive, the veteran players on that baseline.
Roberts has 14, and the 3 of them have 43 between them.
See, I like the idea they're trying to attack the pressure.
Well, good interior passing by the Cowboys, too.
You want to attack pressure. You don't want to play very tentatively and passive. I'm going to take a look right here on the rebound. There's the good offensive rebound and a strong drive by Roberts. I think Roberts, Watkins, and Nichols have done their side. They've really played well.
Devendorf under the weather, not playing in the second half, scoreless tonight. The 3 seniors have 43. Other than that, Josh Wright is the next big scorer with 7. Paul Harris, only 2 points, does not have a field goal tonight for the freshman.
New York, Madison Square Garden. Peter Vesey, one of the real experts, the gurus, and certainly in covering the NBA, says the Knicks, they don't win at home. They were 1-7 until last night when they beat the Grizzlies at home. You got to win at home, baby. You got to win at home.
In that division, everybody's still in it.
Isn't it special? Yeah, they really are. Very mediocrity.
Well, this building, for players from New York, New Jersey, they love coming here to play because a lot of them played here in high school, AAU, that kind of thing. But for players from around the country who have watched this building, and this is also a great opportunity for coaches to bring their players here for recruiting purposes, but a lot of teams, too, when they come here, they'll get their players out on a tour. Yeah, educational, right? And they'll show them what New York City is all about.
Take them down there, Wall Street.
Foul was on Roberts. He's picked up 2 quickies, has 3 in the game. Watkins is on the bench right now with 4.
I'll never forget the one time I walked on the sidewalk, on the streets with Mr. Country, Brian Reeves, and it was his first time
Big Country,
ever.
Really?
Oh, Big Country was so excited seeing all the tall buildings.
The Syracuse fans chanting defense, defense, and the Orange have definitely picked it up. Shot clock at 7.
That's where you want to go. Right in that 3-second area.
Travel on Dove.
He lifted his pivot foot, but that opening right behind the foul line area. Attacking that 3-second area. So you want to get in there. You want to get into that area behind the front guy. Because usually good things happen. Defense rotates over to you, and you have an open guy on the baseline.
Dick, now 19 turnovers committed by the Cowboys. They have been sloppy.
They play at such a pace that they turn the ball over.
Nichols.
Tough shot.
Yeah.
Tough shot.
Dove is the defender they want on Nichols. He was the guy guarding him there. Now Dove at the other end.
Oh, the little slam jam. Poor job by Syracuse, though, in defensive transition. Nobody rotated back. Very poor floor balance.
What a highlight reel there for Dove. Great defense on Nichols.
Another one.
And bad knee and all. He's going up again.
Yes, hello. You think they're jumping with joy down in Stillwater? It's not too still tonight. That'll break your back.
Marcus Dove, the junior out of Long Beach, California, with an extraordinary sequence. Now he's got a rebound. Great D, 2 dunks, a rebound, and another sloppy play. Now he needs to come out of the game. He's tired.
There he is defensively. Look at him challenging. He's challenging Nichols, made him take a bad shot. And I want to watch the dunk right here. A lob, up, and away. And why not another one off the steal? There he is off the steal. No, that's not Sonny Dove. He was special when he played for St. John's. He was so special.
And you know what? All that running and jumping, he got tired. He just asked out of the game, and Terrell Harris has come in to replace him.
He wanted the coach to say, nice job, great job. He wants to come out after the great play, not the bad play. If he had missed it, you think he would ask to come out?
Syracuse's time to respond, and they don't do it. Roberts throws it away.
Trying to throw it to you.
John Labombarda getting in the action again.
He loves it. He said, Coach, did you see that play I made, Coach? I got my rest now. You told me great job. James Dickey and company on the sideline.
He's the defensive stopper. They specifically wanted him to guard Nichols tonight. Dove's a big reason, along with Manello, why the bench scoring favors Oklahoma State.
Well, Jimmy doesn't go to his bench a great deal. So sometimes that stat can be very deceiving.
Yeah. Although they'd love to see some offense from Harris here tonight. Bogan, followed by Mons. They are destroying the orange on the glass.
Mons right up there with the rebound, but you see where it all started? Right in the open 3-second area. It started with Bogan getting free on the interior. They headed to be 10-0, man, unless Syracuse gets some answers. See, it all starts right in the air, right here, right in that open area. Once he gets it in there, there's the good inside rebound position because the guy in the middle has to step to the ball.
Yep.
As soon as you step to the ball, you got 2 against 1. And that's what you try to do against a zone. You want to get 2 against 1. You want to get in that open area. You want to get right in this area here. That's where you want to get damage starts. Now watch. They'll slide a guy right in the open area, freeze it. See, you freeze it there. The defense comes to you, and usually this guy can offensive rebound. Because the defense comes to you. See how he gets in? Right inside.
Yeah, Nichols was the guy kind of backing away from the play instead of getting in under the hoop. Let's go to Doris Burke for more.
Well, Dick just mentioned working 2-on-1, 2-on-2. In fact, Oklahoma State has had to do a lot of that, guys. Some dismissals early before the start of the season, and injuries have impacted. There's been long stretches where they couldn't go 5-on-5, so they've worked 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4. Dick, that helps. It helps you understand movement, screening, and shooting on the move. So all good things happening for Eddie Sutton right now.
Yeah, really moving the ball. It means short, son. Eddie's cheering over there for his son.
Right.
I'll tell you that. Hey, right now the Big 12, Missouri 9-zip. Oklahoma State 9-zip. Texas A&M 7-zip with a tough game tonight with LSU.
Cowboys with that tough man-to-man defense again, Dick.
There's going to be some interesting matchups in the Big 12.
You got that right. You've talked about Texas A&M. Looking forward to seeing them. Another steal. Harris again. He has been the glue guy, doing all the little things for the Cowboys tonight.
You know, Harris defensively and Dove defensively have really been prominent. Trying to manage a good shot. This guy here can certainly score. He can beat you off the dribble, Curry.
Going to work off the ball or with it, depending on whether or not Eton is in the game.
Trying to take some time off the clock, trying to get a good shot.
Finds Bogan. Look at that layup.
That's a pretty good shot.
Wow.
That's a pretty good shot from the wing.
Great body control for a guy that big to hang and adjust like that. 21 for Bogan.
I got to believe Billy Donovan would be in awe watching him play. How he has really become a player, losing all that weight.
What a night for him. 21-8, right about his season averages.
There's Bogan. Look at that. Fake, protects the ball, does such a super job. And there's Dove, up and away. He's flying like a dove up in the sky.
Back here at Madison Square Garden in New York City, the Jimmy V Classic presented by Siemens. A big night for the top 2 scorers for Oklahoma State. Bogan on the inside, Curry on the outside have combined for 36. Hey, do we have a good one coming in game 2? It could be a track meet between Arizona and Louisville. Folks who saw the Arizona-Illinois game on Saturday know how good they can be. Louisville, Dick, they've only played 3 games. They're 2-1. They're 1 loss to Dayton. We don't know a whole lot about them yet.
Right. They lost to a good Dayton basketball team. Kenneth Roberts had a big day on the road. But Louisville really playing in a situation where they're trying to fill in players who are coming back from all kinds of injuries. Jenkins, Palacios had the ankle problem last year.
Yeah,
Padgett's had both knees operated on.
All those guys are playing right now, but none of them are 100%.
And Character will make his debut tonight. Can't wait to see him. Heard so much about him. Big, strong, physical, talented. Dick Hoops Weiss has told me a lot about him. The Daily News outstanding writer. In the house tonight with Jim O'Connell from the Associated Press. Another brilliant writer. Does a great job.
The lead is 11 after the free throws by Paul Harris. And Syracuse has come out of the zone. They got to go man-to-man here, being down 11 with 3.5 to go.
They're going to try to spread the court, get the high percentage shot, get to the free throw line. He's got a little bump, trying to step out, got a mismatch. See, taking time. Oh, double dribble. Double dribble.
21 turnovers committed by Oklahoma State.
Well, you know, Wichita State, Oklahoma State, really now both trying to Oklahoma State do what Wichita State did. Mark Turgeon, what a job he's done. Kid by the name of Wilson is good. Kid by the name of Cousinard, Thompson. They got some good players up there.
That would have been a big one for Harris. Misses the 3. Saved. And a held ball. It'll be Syracuse ball. A great effort there by Manello. And Manelo's got something all over his arm as he went flying out of bounds to save that ball. I don't know what he landed in. Somebody's nachos and cheese, I think.
Yeah, he's so tough, though, physically. Nacho and cheese. He better eat some of that, baby. He better not let the Schwabi see it. He better not let the Schwabi see those nachos and cheese.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen a substitution because of nachos and cheese.
Hey, you know what?
Oh, look at
this
poor
little kid.
Oh, poor kid.
He's still going to eat some. Hey, why don't you use some of your power? You got a lot of power at ESPN because you're a baseball star in terms of announcing now basketball.
I'm afraid where this is going. To do what? Yeah.
Use your power. I want to see Wichita State play.
All right.
I want to go do a Shocker game. I got to do Shocker game.
I'm working on that.
You're working on it.
You just
use your power.
You just stay out of it.
I got no juice. You got juice.
I'm working on it.
I got no juice.
Poor kid.
I'm going to call him Mr. Bodenheimer if you don't get it done. I'm going to call the boss. I'm not going to waste time. Call him Norby, Williamson, our other boss. I got a lot of bosses.
Yeah,
I got a lot of bosses. John Skipper. I'm going to call them all up.
Inside 3 minutes to go. Syracuse down 10.
I want to see Wichita State.
We're going. We're going. We're going. Don't you worry about it. I got it all figured out. But don't come in and muck it up. It's all taken care of.
There's full court pressure now by the Cuse. A little less than 3 minutes. You're getting a little patient here, but you got to be able to execute. Got to be able to execute. That's not a good pass there. Lucky to get away with it. Floated down up in the air. That's sloppy.
They got it.
You got a trailer. You got a trailer. Just flip it over your shoulder. Oh, what a poor job.
Another missed opportunity.
You know what you have to do there? It's called communication. And James knows it. The guy that's got the ball has to hear the trailer saying, I'm on the left, I'm on the left. Communication is so important. Mike Krzyzewski talks about that all the time, offensively and defensively, communicating with your teammates.
Mons right to the rim. And if it's Watkins, he'll be done. It is the 5th on Watkins.
Mons didn't waste any time trying to attack the basket. This is a talented Oklahoma State team. James Curry's smiling at me. He goes, why is he smiling at me? I only say good things about him.
So Watkins is done. Pretty productive night for him, but he'll have to sit down. Gorman has returned. Mons will go to the line. And if Oklahoma State can make some free throws, and they're 74% as a team on the year, they're going to get out of here with a victory.
I said that someone would like to hear this. I said, Eddie, kids are 9-0. Unbelievable. I said, Dad, they haven't played anybody. I said, come on, Eddie. Yeah, he said, okay, Missouri State, and a little bit with Auburn. He wouldn't say that if he was coaching.
No.
If he was the head coach, he wouldn't say that, would he?
They've beaten Pepperdine and Northwestern State, Corpus Christi, and again they got games against Tennessee and Pittsburgh still to come this month.
Got to make those free throws.
Yep.
It's great to see Eddie looking good. He and his wife in the crowd.
Whoa!
Big time. That's Mr. Harris. Oh, Mr. Harris. He's physical. He's strong. He just has to work on shooting the rock.
2 missed free throws and then a power dunk from Harris, and all of a sudden it's down to 7.
Game is not over, baby.
Manello. Rebound Roberts.
Not doing a good job trying to get the good shot out of the offensive set.
Nichols.
Oh, yes, sir. Here comes the Cuse. Now they're going to go to full court pressure. Question is, did they go to try and take the clock down a little too early to get away from what they were doing well?
A 9-0 run by Syracuse.
We're sloppy here. Really sloppy. Oh, that's a block. That's a block. That's a good call. That is certainly a good call.
Number 4 on Roberts.
I think even James would agree with that. Jim Boeheim's had a busy summer. He's assistant coach to Mike Krzyzewski,
right.
the Olympic team. Take a look right there. He definitely blocked.
That'll send the freshman Manello to the line for 1-1.
Well, last time they missed 2 free throws.
That's right. That was Mons.
So many times you and I have seen games turn, the tide turn because teams don't make free throws.
Manello, as you can see, is strong free throw shooter. 79% of the season shooting right into a sea of orange behind that basket.
Oh, they missed 3 in a row. Giving Sue Cuse life. The Cuse getting some juice and some life.
Timeout called by
timeout.
Harris.
Good timeout. Good timeout.
Syracuse out of timeouts now.
Take a look at the diaper dandy right here. Just explode down the lane. A little showtime. Very physical. He's got such physical strength. You know, he's a fifth-year player. He's a freshman at diaper dandy.
Yeah, went to prep school.
Year.
Yeah.
But there goes Nichols and doing what he does best. Shoot the three. Soft when that came through the net. So soft.
Nichols with a game-high 26 points here tonight. Watkins is fouled out. Devendorf unable to play due to illness here in the second half, yet the Cuse mounted a comeback.
Well, you know, playing without Devendorf, trying to find someone to score has been difficult. But right now, Nichols has stepped up, and they got to get certainly Harris a little bit more attacking the basket. I tell you, is it a great game?
It's fun.
Great game. I really love the kind of action we have been able to see.
It looked like Oklahoma State had this one in the bag. Jim Boeheim, though, looking for win number 734. Sean Sutton, a rookie head coach, the head coach designate the last couple of years, and really ran a lot of things offensively for his dad, Eddie Sutton, in recent years. And Eddie looking on, he's got that scowl on his face just like he did when he was coaching.
He's a little nervous right now, a little nervous. You know, you talk about Sean Sutton. He's been part of the Oklahoma State program for 16 years, 2 as a player, 14 as a coach.
Let's go to Doris quickly. Doris?
Guys, in the Oklahoma State huddle, Sean Sutton imploring his guys to be strong with the basketball, make the smart next closest pass, and relax on the free throw line. They got a minute 36 to survive this one, guys.
I'll tell you one thing, Doris. If you don't convert on a free throw line, you don't protect the basketball, it's tough in terms of having a formula to win, especially against someone like Syracuse. You can take advantage of it.
A 9-0 run in the last 2:15 for the Orange. Harris inside is fouled.
That's a great move. They're utilizing his strength, his post-up ability. But now the question, we saw him earlier brick 2 free throws. He's got to make free throws. See him posted up. Watch him big and strong inside the diaper dandy. There he is, got the strong body, trying to finish. He's going to be a quality player, there's no doubt.
6'5", 220, 66% on the season, 4 for 6 tonight. 10-0 run, 3-point game.
I remember they came back from 35-12 down against Wichita State. He looked pretty good right there, his technique and stroke.
They were down 15 to Canisius, won that game. They were down 15 to Northeastern, won that game. Harris follows his miss.
He's one tough customer. Made a great effort. Came up empty. Now you got to get some good spacing. You got to get some good spacing. Take a look at this. Look what they led by, 13.
Now it's down to 3.
Oh, it's pretty tough sitting in that zone right now. I would take some time off that clock with that lead. Make sure you get a high percentage. I want Bogan. Bogan or Curry. Gonna go either one of my stars late have to touch the ball.
Curry with a little breathing room. Cooper lost it. Harris has it. He's going right to the rim.
He is so strong, so all of a sudden he seems to have, he awakened. Where's he been?
Well, you can see where his strength is, inside and in transition, getting right to the rim as Sean Sutton calls a timeout. The freshman has sparked Syracuse.
He has really, the diaper dandy has stepped up, elevated his game. Yes, sir, but Cuse, you're going to love Mr. Harris. He is so physical. Look at this guy. Right here, going to take the ball strong to the basket. He said, just get out of my way. He's going to go the length of the court. I love kids that want the ball when the game's on the line. Yep. They don't run from it. So many guys have a way of disappearing.
There's the run for the Orange on Saturday against Wichita State after trailing by as many as 23. Syracuse went on a late 17-0 run against the Shockers to get right back into the game. They actually tied it at 61. Then they were down by a point when Demetrius Nichols stole the ball and came up short, slipped a little on the way up, missed the layup. The Shockers hit a couple of free throws and got out of the Carrier Dome with a 3-point win.
And that's been the whole problem here, as Norris alluded to a little bit earlier, making free throws. I mean, it's a nightmare to a coach when you execute and the guys get fouled and they don't convert.
Yep.
You have to convert on a free throw line. Jimmy, by the way, a cancer survivor, prostate cancer, Jim Calhoun. And that's what the night is all about, basketball and raising money to beat cancer.
Can the Cowboys execute a 14-13 really second difference between game clock and shot clock?
Syracuse going to sit in here, take that time off. Syracuse going to get a chance.
Curry a deep three.
That's big. Oh, that's a backbreaker. You talk about a PTPer who wanted to make the big shot. Not only did he score, but a three makes it a two-possession game.
Wright lost it on the way up. Oklahoma State ball.
They escape. They're going to escape with this W. They almost broke down against Syracuse at the end of the game. Syracuse made a gallant effort, just like they did with Wichita State. Jim Boeheim's got to find a way to get his kids to focus for 40 minutes and not to take possessions off.
Play with fire.
Play with fire for 40 minutes. Because they're going to win a lot of games.
Terrell Harris back into the game for the Cowboys.
That's a great way to learn, though, Dan. You learn sometimes by having a little failure.
How about James on Curry and the deep three that he took?
Well, look at this right here. You talk about guts? You talk about guts? I mean, wow. That's a gutty shot, man. That's Mr. Guts letting that one go down.
Curry's averaging 18, and that's how many he's got tonight. Look at the bench explode. Different shades of orange here tonight at the Garden. Looks like Cowboy orange will win it even after another missed free throw.
Look at this guy.
Harris is fouled. Boy, get out of his way.
Hey, you don't want to stop the clock. Let him score right there. When you stop the clock, you allow him to convert, you allow him to get a full court pressure. Harris is just so physical. He's got to play with that kind of. He's got to play with that kind of fire.
Look at Eddie's son watching. He's saying just what you said. No foul.
He can't believe the foul. Why stop them? I mean, you think he'll have a meeting with the coaches and talk a little bit about that? Look at him. That's why he won almost 800 games.
Second game in a row. A quiet first half for Paul Harris and an explosive second half. Well, Dick, it ain't over yet. 6.3 seconds to go.
You and I saw it. We had that dramatic finish with Kansas where they fouled at the end. Bill Self went bananas. Yep. Hey, pretty good memory for a guy 67, huh? The last time down in Vegas. That time on that clock. Got a foul. Can't let him take time off that clock. They're trying to make the steal.
One timeout for Oklahoma State, but they get it in.
Oh, you don't want to.
They foul Curry.
He takes a practice free throw down there. Look, he did a little practice. Wanted to try and work a little bit on his rotation. Smart move. Get away with it. Why not?
Curry has been a star tonight, a 73% free throw shooter on the season.
Sean Sutton said we're up 13. We got 3:52 on the clock. It looks like we're going to enjoy a nice little W. Maybe even go to my bench. And here it is. They are in a fight. And a mailbox smasher.
Curry's missed his only one tonight. It's that one. That was the 10th team foul. So 2 shots for Curry. This is the one that can seal the deal.
He's not going to miss late. Tell you one thing. I wouldn't let Syracuse, if he does miss it, get a 3 off. I would not allow him to get a 3 off. If he misses this, you make sure you put him on the free throw line. Yep. You don't let him take a look at 3. A guy that Nichols might not knock it down.
71-68, Oklahoma State trying to stay unbeaten and go to 10-0 on the season. What have you learned about these 2 teams here tonight?
Well, I've learned, number one, Oklahoma State's a lot better than I anticipated. And I think when you look at Oklahoma State, they're physical, they are really aggressive, they're well coached, and they got scorers. They got guys like Bogut and Curry that can put points on the board. As you look at their schedule right now, Ronnie Thompson has a date with them. I mean, I look right there, that Pittsburgh game is going to be some kind of battle. Certainly Tennessee played in Nashville is not going to be easy either. But those are the 2 games. I think the other 3 they're too talented for. I really do.
Meanwhile, Syracuse 7-1 right now. The only loss to Wichita State. They're going to go back home for a while after this game until conference play begins.
Well, Syracuse never leaves the state of New York. I mean, take a look right there. They got some wins looking at them at that situation. Hofstra certainly lost their 3 early, but are coming on strong. Lawrence Stokes is outstanding player down there at Hofstra for Tom Pecora. I still think they're going to be a player big time in the Colonial Conference.
If Curry makes the free throw, it's a 2-possession game, and that should do it.
If he makes the free throw, it's over, lights out, unless you got a scoop.
73% on the season.
It's over. Forget about it. There's no way in the world you should lose now unless you make an absolute dumb play.
A very emotional and intense Curry after he knocks down the free throws.
You don't want to foul anybody letting it fly.
Yeah.
You don't want to foul them. Let it fly. It's over. Great effort by Oklahoma State to hang on to win, but a terrific effort by Syracuse. And remember, they played without Eric Devendorf.
Jameson Curry, our Siemens player of the game, 20 points, including 2 critical free throws in the closing seconds to ensure the win as the Cowboys, Sean Sutton's team, they're now 10-0 as they send Syracuse to its 2nd consecutive defeat. This one by a score of 72-68. Eddie Sutton likes what he sees, although it got a little bit tense for son Sean near the end of the game. Here's the head coach, Sean Sutton, along with Doris.
Sean, obviously some adversity down the stretch. A 13-point lead goes down to 1. Jameson hits the big shot. This is a guy who struggled with confidence last year. What allows him to step up in that situation?
I just think he's more relaxed. He's more confident. When we called timeout, we had done a poor job. We really had gotten past it at the offensive end and turned it over and then quit defending. It got down to 1. I said, hey, we're going to make a play. You know, we're going to rise up. Somebody's going to make a play. And he set a double high ball screen. And he stopped behind the first screen and made a big-time shot.
Coach, you missed some free throws. You had some key turnovers late. You certainly dealt with adversity. As you move on, how does that help you?
We lost so many games last year. We lost eight games on the last possession last year. We've been able to win. It's our 4th close game this season, so our guys are a lot more confident, but we made it a lot harder on ourselves. We got to hit free throws late in the game, and especially with the lead.
Congratulations on a great win, Sean. Thanks. Dan.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. A terrific first game here at the Jimmy V Classic. Don't forget Arizona and Louisville still to come here from the Garden. Oklahoma State 72 and Syracuse 68. Big nights for Jameson Curry and Mario Bogan as the Cowboys go to 10-0. Don't miss the second game. Come on back for the Cardinals and the Cats. But first, up to the guys in the corner. John Saunders, Jay Billis, Digger Phillips.